Coach Mike Ryan from the Fastball USA Training Center, and I just want to talk to you today about a topic that has come up quite a bit recently, and very specifically addressing younger hitters, youth hitters. And every time we get a new student, a potential new student here at Fastball USA, we do an evaluation, and part of the evaluation is looking over at, for example, their swing technique. But what I want to make sure that I'm clear on about this video is a lot of times some of the technique flaws you see for a youth hitter is happening because there's timing flaws. Now, I know everybody's going to say, well, yeah, but your technique's got to get better. I want you to think of it like this, or at least let me explain where I'm coming from. Number one is that even the greatest hitters in the world are constantly working on their swing. Big league hitters, MVPs, are trying to improve their swing. And what I'm trying to say here is whether you're a youth player, a high school player, a college player, a pro, right, a minor leaguer, a major leaguer, all of those guys are forever working on their swing, right? It's a never-ending process for most hitters, right? They're constantly working on their swing technique. Now, with that said, where do you start with a younger player? Now, I think just from over the years of watching younger hitters is what you have to watch for if you're a coach out there is to see how well they are at timing awareness before you start diving heavy into technique. In other words, if you're cleaning up a swing and you're working hard at how a swing looks and you're not paying close attention to timing awareness, you're missing a big opportunity for them to improve almost from the get-go. So I'll give you an example. About 2 weeks ago, I had a kid in here. He came in, and he definitely had some swing flaws, right? But the first thing I talked about, I noticed that is, for example, as I was throwing BP, as my arm was moving, he really wasn't doing anything. He was kind of standing still. And as the ball kind of came out of my hand, he was kind of just reacting to it, and he kind of, as the ball came in, he kind of dropped his shoulder and swung off his back leg. It didn't look really good. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, though, is instead of going into the technique of it, the first thing we started talking about right away was every hitter has two parts of the swing, right? The two parts are you're either building energy or you're releasing energy. You're building it or releasing it. The building it is in the loading phase as the hitter is loading up, and the releasing it, right, is as the hitter starts to explode on the baseball. So whatever you want to call it, right? There's a loading phase and an unloading phase, building energy, releasing energy, right? Or we like to have a hitter say is their timing is there's a ready go. They're ready, and then the go is the swing. So in this kid's particular case, and I see this often with younger hitters, they really don't have a ready go. They just have a go, right? They're almost at a dead standstill, and as the ball comes out of the hand, they more react to the ball, and they just swing, okay? Now, there's other hitters who have a ready go, okay? So the first lesson, for example, on that particular day for that kid was to understand that every hitter has a ready go. Every hitter has something where they get their weight into their back leg and go. And we just showed some examples, various ways. But we were just kind of talking over it, like ready, go. And I would just talk over the video. And then the next thing was to point out was not only does every hitter have a ready go, but the importance of understanding. So this is right away talking about that there's a dance going on between the hitter and the pitcher, okay? And again, this is with a 9-10-year-old kid. And I started showing him video of whatever hitter was showing, and the emphasis was on, notice after the hands break out of the pitcher's glove, and as the arm starts to climb up, that you start to see the hitter go into his load. And whoever it was, it might have been Bryce Harper, where you can see his front legs start to come up as the pitcher's arm is coming up. And we kept playing it back and forth so he could see the dance, in a sense. He could see the sequencing of arm up, leg up, right? And then we showed him variations, Otani, whatever, various, but seeing not just the ready go, but also seeing when the dance, understanding, trying to get the hitter to understand that, hey, even a 10-year-old kid, you have to understand that hitting is a dance, number one, and you have to understand where to get your eyes, right? And that was the second thing was, okay, now it's not just, to just, hey, go dance with the pitcher. let's put your eyes on the pitcher's glove. And when the pitcher's hands separate out of the glove, this is an anticipation of the beginning of the ready and the loading, and then as the arm comes to release the go. So it became ready, go, right? So now, as we're sitting here in this session for about a 5-minute session, we're talking about ready, go, right? The ready on the load and the go. And at first we just started practicing it with me just kind of simulating taking the ball out of my glove and then throwing it without him doing anything, just saying the words ready, go, and him just timing the words. And the most important thing, or one of the most important things, if nothing that I'm trying to reinforce, is if he's not looking at the right thing. We could talk about being on time, we could talk about being good at the dance, but if his eyes are not in the right place, you're not going to be really good at the dance. So if you're looking at the right thing, right? So you can imagine there's a lot of hitters out there just getting in their stance and they're just looking out there almost like a deer in headlights, just staring out at the pitcher, and then all of a sudden the ball, comes out, right? And there's other hitters that have some resemblance of a ready go, but they're so late on the ready, meaning they're loading or they're building energy, they're loading phase, that they're so late with it that then they have to rush it and it alters their swing. And of course, then it alters their contact point. It affects their results big time. So one of the things we're trying to teach the players is when the hands come together as a pitcher, start to put your eyes towards the pitcher's glove and see handbrake, see it, that way you can get the loading starting on time, and then as the pitcher's going into release, you're beginning that go mode to go ahead and swing the bat. So where do you start with a younger player, which is about where do we start? In my opinion, the quickest opportunity to get better is letting them understand that every hitter has a ready go, building energy, releasing energy, right? Identify that and let them experiment with how to do that. But really, most importantly, right away, get them in tune about what good timing is right away, right? And you may be like, yeah, but he's got swing flaws. True. But now he's got an idea of when to go, because those swing flaws are probably going to look worse if he has timing flaws, right? They're very likely going to get worse. Some of what you're seeing is happening because he's reacting to the ball, for example. He's reacting late to the ball. So once you start to improve the timing, his ability to dance with the pitcher, then as you're going, continue to work on the swing efficiency. And again, I think forever people are going to be working on swing efficiency. So going back to this student, shortly after that, I got a email that said, hey, just so you know, he had an immediate improvement. He did really well, whether it was, due to that or not, but it was one of the things that the kid tried to implement was the loading and unloading, the ready and the go right away. And what I see as I'm watching and working with younger players, okay, is that they do get better virtually right away. And again, they may have some swing flaws, but their points of contact get better. They're more on time and they're making more aggressive type looking swings, where a lot of people are taking maybe less aggressive swings simply because they either don't have a ready go, they're just go, or they don't get it going at the right time and it looks like they're reacting to the ball, therefore it looks like they're reacting and taking less aggressive swings. So going back to this, okay, and how we train this, okay, get the hitter's vision when the hand comes together on the glove. Make sure you're training them on handbrake, ready, and then go. And you can have them verbalize it at first, not even doing anything, right? Just have them verbalize it. And then what I do is I will show hitters on how they load up. For example, I'll show Ohtani, I'll show Harper, I'll show Clemente, whoever's on that, right, on how they're doing it. And I won't necessarily at first tell them how to load up. I will let them watch and then let them kind of do what comes natural. And now the second part is then we start to add this motion, the ready go, with actual full body motion where there's no ball. It's ready go. And we do it without a ball. And just trying to see how they time up their movements. In fact, it could be without a bat if you want to, just where they're timing it up. And parents that are listening to this, you could be doing this at home, is a great way to improve your kids' timing. It's an outstanding way to improve your kids' timing, is to create timing awareness. So now think about this, when they're on the on-deck circle and all the coaches are saying, time up the pitcher, what are they really saying? they're saying to time up to ready, go, whether they're explaining it like that, right? So when your kid's on deck, it should be watch handbrake, ready, go, and then timing up the go is the hip turn, right, as you go swing. So I would start with have them verbalize it, then actually have them do it without a ball, just matching up right in there. Even when we do tee work, a lot of our stations, they're focusing on verbally saying out loud, ready, go, which by the way, I got this idea concept from an excellent hitting coach. His name is Perry Husband. If you check out, a lot of his information is built, he's known for is what's called effective velocity, but he's a great hitting coach. And he had, it was something else that they were saying, something like right now, and he came out to our facility, did a great job with our hitters. And I think eventually it was one of our own hitters that started saying something like ready, go, and I just let it go, and it's kind of been like that. But Perry, in terms of that concept of the swing and timing, was way ahead of his time, right? And we've been able to adapt that into our program and then take it, where we're trying to create awareness all the way down to what we're looking at. I think half the thing is the hitters don't know where they're looking, so they end up kind of reacting to the pitch, even though hitters may have what looks to be a good ready go. So again, we'll go to the tee and we'll start working on loading and unloading off the tee. And then in BP, when we're doing it, I want them still obviously doing it when I'm throwing, and I'll start in short toss just sitting in a chair, and I'm expecting, as my hand is swinging upwards, I'm expecting to see the loading happen, the building energy, the ready, and then the ball out of my hand. As the ball is leaving my hand, I'm expecting the go to swing the bat. Or I tell guys, think about the hip turn, right? As you're turning, that's the go. So the go, the now, is happening right before you hit the ball. It's the indication of you're hitting it with your backside, but it's getting both down. So the first part is getting it where they're flowing correctly, okay? Getting everybody to flow correctly. And I think what you're going to find is, like anything else in levels, by the time they get to somebody throwing, you're going to still get guys who start late because their eyes aren't in the right place. So what I will mix in too is my arm is moving and I don't see the hitter moving yet, I'll stop sometimes just to test them, to create more awareness about, hey, we got to be on time, to make sure that we're at least getting started correctly, and to work to be on time. Now, this is only one part of the timing equation, the ready and the loading. Of course, I understand that. The go, the releasing energy, is the second part, which will be in a separate video. But what I wanted to point out is, number one, some hitters don't have a load, right? They don't have a building energy, releasing energy. They just go, right? There's not a ready go, there's just a go. So you got to acknowledge that and see if you, and I highly encourage, if you're a parent of a player and you're recognizing this, or if you're a coach of players, let them watch players in the process of ready go, talk over it, let them see that there's two phases of the swing, building energy, releasing energy, right? Because a lot of younger hitters will just see ball out and just go. Second thing is the hitters who even have it, stressing the importance of the dance. When do you load up, right? Watch it. What are you looking at? The eyes are important, because if you miss handbrake, you could be ready go all you want, and it's not going to. And the last thing, general rule of thumb that we're looking to see, we want the hitter to be at the peak of his load. So if he has a little bit of a leg lift, it would be at the peak of his leg lift or the peak of his weight shift by the time the ball is up or before it comes out of his hand. So his arm is up, we want to be at the peak of his load before the ball comes out of his hand, because as that ball's leaving the hand, when you think about it, you have whatever it is, 0.4 seconds, or depending on how hard the person's throwing, to go from release to actually hitting the ball. And of course, then being on time, which again is a separate video. So you have less than a half a second to make that movement. So you can't be in the middle of your load as the ball comes out of the pitcher's hand if he's got any kind of velocity, and that makes sense. So I just wanted to take the time out to help you understand where I would start with a youth hitter. Create more timing awareness, to me, would be step one. Then continue to work on a swing technique and keep mixing in timing awareness and reinforcing it, and keep working on the swing. Don't ignore the timing while you're just working on the swing, because in that kid's case, he went out into a game and had immediately more success. And this happens often, where hitters will have immediately more success understanding timing awareness. And the better we get at timing awareness, and I know I'm only talking about one part of this today, is then the kid's got a better chance to have success in the game. And by the way, he can keep working on a swing and keep working on a swing and keep working on a swing, which is also going to help him, of course, right? But if he has let me put it this way, if he has a great swing, right? If he has a great swing and he has poor timing awareness, he's not going to be a very good hitter anyway. So if you have great swing technique and poor timing, this isn't going to work. I'd rather have a guy who has better timing awareness, who's got better timing with some swing flaws. That kid's going to be a better hitter in a game, the guy with better timing. So, and I know everybody's like, well, yeah, but that's, again, could technique create bad timing? Yes. But for the most part, what we're talking about here today is poor timing can influence those swing flaws anyway and make a hitter look completely different. So anyway, if you have any questions about this, feel free to shoot me an email, fastballusa@hotmail.com. Of course, go to our website, fastballusa.com. I just wanted to talk about this and put a video out there because I know there's a lot of well-meaning parents, a lot of well-meaning coaches, even instructors that are trying to help players. And sometimes I think just what we do is we have a tendency to overcomplicate things as coaches, right? And some of that is, let's face it, when somebody's paying an instructor to paying money, I think some instructors think, well, the more complicated I make this, the smarter I sound. And I think sometimes instructors lose sight of what it's about is just simply getting that kid better and just making that kid better right now. If you can instantly improve that kid's game, do it, right? This isn't a string them along. Like, this is what can we do right now to help him get better. In terms of the swing technique, high level techniques are going to take time. We get that. But make sure that you're taking care of the obvious first, the simple first, and then go from there. Again, this is Coach Mike Ryan from the Fastball USA Training Center here in Schaumburg, Illinois. Check out our website at fastballusa.com. Feel free to send me an email at fastballusa@hotmail.com if you have any questions or comments about this video or anything else that we do here at Fastball USA.